Hi, so in this video we're going to learn about something called radians. And radians are a way of measuring angles just like degrees are. So you can measure an angle in radians as well as degrees. So today we're going to learn about radians. So I've drawn a circle here with the radius r. And let's say that r equals 1. So the radius of this circle is 1. And what a radian is we take this radius and we put it on the circumference. So we have a length of 1 along the circumference. And this makes an angle right here. And that angle has a measure of 1 radian. So the angle has a measure of 1 radian. So that's all radian is. You just put the radius of the circle on the circumference and you get 1 radian. Now, the circumference of the circle would be 2 pi, right? Because radius is 1, so 2 pi r, which is 2 pi times 1 is 2 pi. So the circumference is 2 pi. So that means there's 2 pi radians along the circumference. Because 1 radian is just 1, and then the circumference is 2 pi times 1, so it would be 2 pi radians. So that's also 360 degrees. So we can say that 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees. Because there's 360 degrees on the whole circumference of the circle, and there's 2 pi radians along the whole circumference of the circle. So if 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees, let's say that 1 radian is W. So we're going to make 1 radian equal W. So we can say that 2 pi W, W is for radians, equals 360 D. D is for degrees. So 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees. And if we solve for D, we get 2 pi W over 360 equals D. Or if we divide the top and bottom of the left-hand side by 2, we get pi over 180 W. Pi W over 180 equals D. Or pi over 180 times W equals degrees. So we can say that pi over 180 radians equals 1 degree. So pi over 180 radians equals 1 degree. Similarly, if we solve for W, we can say that 360D over 2 pi equals W, or 180D over pi equals 1 radian. So 180 degrees over pi equals 1 radian, and pi over 180 radians equals 1 degree. So let's do an example of converting between degrees and radians. So let's say we have an angle of 30 degrees and we want to convert it into radians. Well, if 1 degree equals pi over 180 radians, how many radians does 30 degrees equal? Well, we would just multiply this by 30. So it would be 30 times pi over 180 radians, or W. So what does this simplify to? What does this thing simplify to? Well, we can cancel out these zeros, Then we can divide this by 3, divide this by 3. So we get pi over 6 radians. So 30 degrees equals pi over 6 radians. Okay? So now let's do an example of converting from radians to degrees. So let's say we have pi over 3 radians and we wanted to convert that into degrees. So remember what we wrote? We wrote that 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees. That means that 1 radian equals 180 degrees over pi. So that's 1 radian. So pi over 3 radians would be pi over 3 times this degrees. So we cancel out the pi's. Then we divide this by 3, so we get 60. This divided by 3 is 1, so we get 60d. So that means pi over 3 radians equals 60 degrees. So that's an example of converting from radians to degrees. So now I'm going to write the formulas up here. So we have 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees. That means we get 1 degree equals pi over 180 radians, and 1 radian equals 180 degrees over pi. So these are the formulas, and remember, W stands for 1 radian. So these are the formulas for converting from degrees to radians and radians to degrees. And this is really important in trigonometry, as we'll see in the next video. So until then, I hope you like this video.